Morning, Braves. We're going to look at what we're doing in computer science today. Um, since we have kind of a schedule that runs like I see first period and eighth period every day, and then I see fifth and sixth. I see you guys every other day. What I'm planning to do is during the lessons, I'll probably break the lessons up into a separate video. So, in other words, like today, we're going to look at lesson 19, and then we also have lesson 20. And I'll make separate videos. That way, um, certain classes will get them on certain days, so there's no confusion. Okay, let's go ahead and I guess let's look at. Let me go ahead and look at class period one, and this all applies to everybody's in computer science. So we're gonna go ahead and just look at the very first one. If you look under modules, of course, like you already know how to maneuver it, but you got bell ringers, then you have your daily assignment, and today we're going to be working on lesson 19. For fifth period, you're going to be lesson 19 and 20. So for this one right here, we're looking at working with variables. So for the people at home, um, one of the things that we never did for you, so he's going to be playing catch up for you guys. But I know you guys can make it. We're just now getting out of block leap coding, which kind of helps you get ready for the real coding. But in a way, it's like it might be to your advantage that you didn't get into that because then you can kind of draw your own conclusions on what's going on. So go to code.org. Now, for the people at home, you probably have not set up your accounts. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the screen up here just for a second. And these are your classroom accounts to join. So if you were going to join code.org, which is part of our classes, you would go to code.org, say, join, and then it will look for a class code. Well, this is what they're looking for. So for eighth period, it's this code right here. For fifth period, it's this code right here. Sixth period, this one, and first period, this one. So I'm gonna give you a few seconds. You can write it down. That way, you can join code, so that way I can actually see what you guys are doing. Excuse me. Sorry. So, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you a few seconds, but I'm gonna go ahead and actually show you kind of what's going on. This is my screen. You'll never see anything like that. You'll normally see your section and express course. That's going to change probably next week because we have a different course we're going to work on in code.org while we're actually starting JavaScript. So I'm going to go ahead and click on express course, which will take me to the actual course. Now, for the people at home, you guys have missed some lessons, and I'll take the hit for that one. But even though you missed them, you can always go work on them, at your own leisure. We went through sequencing, which basically that's just putting blocks in order to make a character do something. Loops, we're gonna kind of touch on the the for loop next week, and it works a little bit better than the actual loops. But you can go ahead and take a look at a couple of those, and if you have any questions, you can always ask me. Conditionals, you missed that one, but conditionals basically in a nutshell is um, like let's just say you're sorting out clothes and you see a white shirt and you throw it in one pile and you see a colored shirt you throw in another. A conditional basically tells the computer if this, do this, else do that. So that way it makes it a little bit easier for the computer to get a task done. Okay, let's see. Functions last week. Well, functions are basically like mini programs that make it a little bit easier on the coder. And we're going to touch on all of these that I just mentioned when we get into JavaScript. So you'll actually see them in the real sense rather than the Blockly sense. Blockly basically is a code way of coding so that it allows us make programs run easier. Okay, so everybody is headed to variables this week. Now we're getting really close to the end of this. This is not going to be the last time we see this stuff, but for this section it is. So on variables, we're going to be looking at lesson 19, and I want to say that if you want to, there's different ways you can do this for the people at home, but there's little videos throughout the lessons that help you along. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at number one. Now, to kind of give people that haven't seen this before a little orientation, real quick, this is your lesson. If you notice a hyperlink, that'll take you back to the main screen with all the lessons. These are puzzles, and each one of these is a puzzle. So basically, this is 11 puzzles within this lesson. So you have your area where you see your program running, you have your instructions at the top, you have your blocks, and you basically, I call it your toolbox right here, and then you have your workspace right here. We have the start over button in case you really get your code just gets real bad. You can easily start over. It starts over for you, and all you really have to do is kind of drag the blocks in. So today for everybody, variables basically we're looking at um, making a triangle. And even though it seems pretty easy in our mind, we know that in a triangle we have to draw a line straight. So the move forward button would actually, or move forward command would actually do that. And then we have to turn either right or left. And so this is where the experiment comes in. If it doesn't work the first time, then, and so what I do is I can easily punch run. And so since I haven't finished the code, it's going to give me an error message. But I know that he's pointing in the right direction. Now this is where the loop comes in. If I put a loop in here, so I drag that out of the way and I drag this in, and I put this together, and the blocks go together, and I punch reset and run, that basically completes the puzzle. Now, for some of you that have never taken a screenshot or you just figuring out what we're doing, basically what you do is you punch the replay button, and it'll give you back your screen. And so on a screenshot, um, on your Chromebooks, you're holding down the Shift key and the Control key. Those are the two keys in the bottom left corner that are together. You push them down at the same time, and then right above the number 6, there's it's like a rectangle with two little lines next to it. If you push those two down, the two buttons down, and that button at the same time, you basically get a screenshot. And so to turn in a screenshot, you basically drag across the whole thing, and then you let it go, and then make sure you copy it to the clipboard. The reason I'm saying this is because if you notice, on every assignment there's always a document. That document, when I pull it up, this is where I'm going to put all my work. Now, here's the thing: if you never have done this before, we're going to make sure that you make a copy of the document, or else it won't work. You have to make a copy of it. So you make a copy of it, you punch OK, another document will open. You can close the original. And if you remember, I just finished taking a photocopy of this, or a screenshot of this. So I'll look for the puzzle that corresponds to it. So like on the sheet, it'll tell you I need to see the screenshot from lesson 19. Oh, for number 2. So I guess number 1 we don't even have to do. I mean, you had to finish it, but I guess it's number 2 that we actually have to take a screenshot. So let's take a look at number 2 real quick. I'm going to start over just for you guys since you never really have seen this before. Now, if you remember in the other one, we had a triangle, and remember it was a repeat button that actually caused that thing to create a triangle. So move forward. Move forward basically draws the line right there that goes from this point to this point. Then I'm going to turn, I think it was turn left 120 degrees, and I punch run. Let's see, it says something went wrong because I haven't done all of them. Now to move to the next section, we already know this is 50. So he needs to be back at this point. So I'm going to have to move him forward. But if I put it on the inside, well, let's just go experiment real quick, just to let you see how sometimes you got to run your code. Since this is inside the loop, it basically keeps going further. It almost basically doubles this command right here. So what I'm going to do is put it outside the loop. That's going to give me the whole triangle right here. But now the problem is I need to be right here. And then I need to make 3 of these. So what we do is we call putting a loop within a loop. So I put this loop here, and I can actually put loops inside of loops like that. Once I finish that, I can actually punch run. And there it is. Now see, you saw me punch continue. All of a sudden it jumps forward. So make sure if you need to take a screenshot, you go backwards. I'm going to do Control, Shift, and then that little button above number 6, I click it. I take a picture of this whole thing, basically the code and what the results are. That way, when you turn it in, I can see if you got it or not. And so then I put my cursor in the middle, and then I just go ahead and paste it. There it appears like that. So that's kind of how you do these things, how you turn your paperwork in and everything else. This today we're working on variables. This video right here, number 4, talks about variables. You can watch it on your own, but in a nutshell, a variable is basically a way of um, telling or assigning a number and a um, like a name. So in the video, she'll talk about the age as a variable because age changes. So anything that can change is usually a variable. So you can watch the video. I can kind of go over this one real quick because I know this video is getting long. But let's see, I can go over number 6. So number 6, um, if you notice right here, we start moving things over. Let me go ahead and start over. Maybe I won't do the whole thing. Yeah. So basically, there's spots that are open, and what those things are for is your variable. So at the very beginning of my program, I have to set my variable. It tells me set length 250. So this little block right here basically represents 50. So what I do is go move forward length, and then I put this one as well in here. So when the computer runs it, the program, it knows that this right here is actually 50. And so just like we created that program earlier, this this is basically the equivalent to it. And then you take a picture of that and go to the sheet. And of course, there's other puzzles in between this, but just to say, I think it was lesson 19, number 6, and there's 6. So you take a screenshot of that and turn it in. Other than that, I mean, that's for variables on lesson 19. I'm not going to talk so much on 20 since you kind of have an idea what we're doing on the screenshots and everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause this one and make a new video.